Iran's government is reviewing the latest peace proposal from the U.S. as President Trump says we're in the final stages of the war. Pakistan's army chief is heading to Iran today as Islamabad continues efforts to broker a deal. President Trump says it could take a few days, but has also said the U.S. has to get the right answers first to avoid returning to war. CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins us from our D.C. bureau with an overview of all of this. Olivia, good morning. Viewers may feel a bit of deja vu because we always seem to be on the brink of a peace deal or on the brink of the president taking further action. Where might negotiations stand now?
Yeah, it also has been the case for really the last month and a half since this fragile ceasefire has been in place since early April. The White House is saying they feel confident they could be getting towards somewhat of a deal right now. We know that Iran's government is reviewing that latest proposal that the U.S. sent to potentially end this war. We also know that Pakistani mediators are in Tehran today, where they will be having negotiations and discussions. This is the second time that those mediators have been in Tehran just this week. So the frequency is increasing as the mediators have been going back to Iran and working these diplomatic back channels to really get something of a deal in place. Now, as you mentioned, the president has been saying he could potentially strike Iran. There have been no strikes since that ceasefire has been in place, at least not ones inside of Iran and across the country on their military targets. Some have happened along the strait, but none really in country. The president has said he could restart those, but for right now, there is a pause for several days because they feel there could be somewhat of a deal. Take a listen to President Trump yesterday expressing hope and optimism.
We're dealing with some people with talent, with good brain power, and we're pretty impressed by it. So hopefully those people will make a deal that's going to be great for everybody. If I can save war by waiting a couple of days, if I can save people being killed by waiting a couple of days, I think it's a great thing to do.
Now, this is coming as Iran is strengthening its hold over the Strait of Hormuz. They have set up a portion of their government to start collecting tolls and taxes and having ships working with the Iranian Navy, or what's really left of it, to transit through the strait. Certainly something that this administration does not want to see, and something that is really part of these negotiations is control of the Strait of Hormuz.
So, Olivia, what we're talking about here is a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran. But I just wonder, how does Israel factor into this?
Well, it's a great question. We know that, we know that there have been conversations happening between President Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. There are some reports out there that those conversations were negative, took a negative turn this week. And the reason why they did was because President Trump is really eager to end this war. This has caused high gas prices here at home, caused issues with economic polling that the president's team has seen and is concerning to them. There is an effort to really get an end to this war. The president feels that they did what they needed to do as far as dealing with Iran's military, but there's still the issue of the nuclear stockpile that they have on the ground there. Israel has said that they want to continue this war until they get those nuclear materials out of Iran, but that would require a very big military campaign in country to safely get those materials out. So Israel has been a proponent of that. The U.S. is looking for a way, an off-ramp to end this war. They're having conversations with Trump and Netanyahu, and there's difficulty there with the two of them. They have had issues in the past about ways to approach the issue of Iran. It seems that there was another conversation they had this week that really underscored the difficulty between the two of them and their opposing views on how to deal with the issue of Iran and this ongoing war, where Israel wants to continue the war and the U.S. is looking for that way out. So we'll have to see just any reaffirmation of commitment between the two leaders. President Trump still speaks highly of Netanyahu in public, even if the two of them, perhaps behind the scenes, have had a little bit of a disagreement.
All right, Olivia Rinaldi in Washington for us. Thank you, Olivia.